Timestamp. It's October 13th, 2025. It's a little bit after 11 p.m. Still not AI. Just put some more stuff in the burn barrel. My girl came over today and burn barrel. It's really slow burning. It's actually in the 60s tonight. It was in the 60s last night too. I remember thinking, and I might have even said it, Acorn, what you doing? That it felt cool-ish, for Florida. I inhaled some of what I was igniting over there. Actually burned my nostrils. It was that, stingy kind of thing. Can you stop messing with my feet? I'd appreciate it. Thanks. But, my girl came over bright and early. I went to bed at 6 a.m. because I finished up that course, the guardianship course. Sent a letter to my lawyer, attached a certificate so that they can e-file forward it to the court, showing that I took it before the deadline. Trying not to kill myself walking across the lanai. So far, so good. Man, that really stung. It was like physical stinging pain in both nostrils. It just hit me. A couple moments of tear gas, kind of. Good stuff. I think I'm supposed to recite my name, serial number. Forget if I mentioned my rank or not. But I didn't really do much today. I was asleep quite successfully on the couch, which, is my bed, until probably 1 p.m. Because, went to bed at 6 a.m. But I got it done, which is the important thing, because I had to have it done and turned in by the 15th. I sent a letter to my lawyer outlining the ideas of, okay, according to this, I should have asked permission before I got stuff done on the house, which, all right, gentlemen, come on. I was not aware of it. So, my bad. And, man. Put that down. So, I know, I gotta open a new bag of something. Cool. I was hoping you had that set up like that. So, Walmart has, I order stuff on Walmart.com all the time. Olroy, it's their brand. And here's the thing, if I boycotted every company I don't agree with, I'd be eating dirt. One for you. And one for you, yeah. Yeah, it's good. Yeah, count. Ooh, I wouldn't carry that next to him. He's gonna try and steal it from you. My dog's a bit of a jerk where that's concerned. So that big old 25-ounce bag, man, that hit me good. 25-ounce bag. They've got them in a pack of 2. It comes in a box and it's like $10, which is pretty good. They've got the imitation bacon ones and they got a beef jerky one too, which, once Pix gets here, we will have 3 dogs in house, which I've had 3 dogs in my house once, a long time ago. As long as we can keep the place neat and orderly, I'm okay with it. I like dogs. Tiny's asleep. So, because again, Tiny doesn't care one way or the other. We're doing some of that Starbucks toasted coconut. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Little thruster action there. Man, that's some good coffee. But anyway, Pix was over today, and when I woke up at about 1:30, I went in to check on her, and she was asleep on the chair. She was taking a nap or something. Hey, Scrap, can I walk forward now? Thanks. With a Jinx across her lap, which I'm sure that was part of what lulled her to sleep. I saw very briefly what she had done. Oh yeah, good job, baby. Yeah. So, that chair right there, which that chair is actually, there's still the bed bug issue, but we can spray it and stuff like that. There were 2 big, fluffy, comfy Lazy Boy. Got all this kind of to go through. Talking about my mom and papers, that's that's nothing. That's 10% of it. The other 90%'s already been dealt with or is being dealt with in burn barrels. Acorn, back out. True story. And this is some of the stuff that we have to walk sideways too. We're getting there. 1 brick, right? But that's one of the things. Did you get your bacon, or did my asshole steal it from you? You seem to be pretty content. Okay, I think Tanner got his bacon. So, according to the guardianship course, when you become a guardian for a ward, it almost becomes Mother May I. You're supposed to do nothing. But you are supposed to take an inventory of expensive, important stuff, locate paperwork that's important. Yeah, we tried that. We've got a couple tons of paperwork that isn't important. The important stuff, vehicle titles, stuff like that, I don't know what Dad did with it. I'm guessing it's hidden somewhere still. Or in a moment of stupid, he burned it. I don't know. At this point, we're just going to keep digging through the BS and hope we come up with that. And again, I mentioned this before, there's a couple of heirloomy things, smaller heirloomy things that I don't know where they are. I don't know where they are. And I don't know if Chuck the Wonder Idiot took it, if Dad gave it to Chuck to take care of. Oh, I don't know if I mentioned this or not. There I am. Chuck's dead. So, I don't think I mentioned this yet. I found this out the other day. I was curious. Okay, twofold. One, because he'd been doing Facebook Marketplace for my dad, selling guns. Because my dad was trying to sell some of his gun collection because he knew that the state of Florida didn't like the idea that he had dementia and a pile of guns. Um, he doesn't recognize that he has dementia, but he just knew that everybody was mad that he had guns. He thought everybody was being unreasonable because he's a combat vet. He knows how to do this, and y'all are being crazy. I'm allowed to have guns. Damn it, look at my concealed permit. And he did. He'd pull out his concealed permit and show complete strangers, yeah, I got this. Like, they don't care. In fact, they're probably concerned now because they know you might have a gun on you. Because you just went, I'm allowed to have what I have in my pocket. And I just showed a random stranger. That tells you how with it I am. True story, I was there when he did it a couple times at Lowe's. What are you doing? Dementia. So, yeah, he apparently died about a month after my mom did. I looked at Facebook because one of my main thoughts was, if he's sitting on my dad's stuff, he may still be selling it through Facebook Marketplace, trying to be slick, because was a kind of an opportunist, really. So I looked him up on Facebook, and then I saw something on his page about a memorial service and him being buried in Bushnell, and I'm like, what? And I wondered why he hadn't contacted me, because supposedly my dad has a couple of taillights for a Volkswagen of Chuck's for a buggy he's working on. Dad was going to do something with the taillights, and was going to do something with him, and was going to do something with him. And finally Chuck's like, look, you're never going to get around to doing what you said you were going to do. Just give them back to me. And he never did. And I've been waiting for Chuck to get back to me to let me know, what am I looking for? I understand what taillights are, and I understand, what taillights for a Volkswagen look like. But if they're different every 2 or 3 years, there are boxes out in that workshop with like 50 taillights in it, like 2 or 3 boxes. And they're all Volkswagen, but just like any other car, the configuration on it can change from year to year. So I don't know if, these are 62s, 63s, 70s. I don't know what year they're from. But my dad has a stockpile of those kind of things because he rebuilt Volkswagens for fun. There's a stack of, and you may have seen it in some of the videos, there's like a stack of hoods out there. They're probably from the 50s on through the 70s. I have no idea. That's going to be a Google Lens nightmare, trying to determine it. I'm willing to bet it's going to be like, that's a Volkswagen hood. I know that. Come on, Hal, work with me. What year is this from? I don't know. I've never tried to do that before. Maybe it'll work. But yeah, no. And it didn't say cause of death, so I don't know. I mean, he was in his early 60s, so there are health things, because you start getting into your 40s and beyond. There are health things. I don't know, because all I was able to find was the memorial thing on Facebook, and the, oh my God, I can't believe he's dead, and kind of the whole, the only things I know is that apparently a neighbor noticed that he hadn't been coming in and out of his apartment house, whatnot. I don't know if there was like an odor. I know that sometimes can be a thing. That wasn't mentioned, but police were called for a wellness check, and they went in and found his body. So I don't know if he had a health thing, if somebody took him out, which that part makes me wonder a little bit, because some of the heirloomy things that are missing around here are pricey. And if he was sitting on, a gun collection from my dad, he's an opportunist. What are his friends like? But I can't, there was no obituary, and I know he was found in his home and he was buried in Bushnell. Ta-da, the end. That's all I know. So, I don't know. I have no idea. So, if that last scenario, or even if he just did in general have those things of my dad's, his family probably came in and scooped it all up because they were his belongings. Or if there was foul play, maybe they're in a police locker somewhere. I have no idea. And I don't even know who to contact or whatnot. I don't know if I should, call the police and say, hey, so about that Chuck guy that you did a wellness check, found dead and all that. Did he have any of these kind of things in his living room? I don't know. I don't know how I feel about any of that. And I don't want to be, that a-hole either. So, I don't know. But yeah, that caught me off guard. Dad doesn't know yet. Because I haven't talked to my dad in 3 weeks. We're going to go up and see him probably next week or the week after. And I don't know if he's going to try and stab me with a pencil or not. He could. I don't even know anymore. You're no son of mine, and then he hasn't called me. So he either hates me, doesn't want to talk to me, or maybe he's forgotten who I am or that I'm alive. I don't know. He's rewritten quite a few pieces of his own personal history based on our conversations. The way he found out about Mom passing, he has invented a new way that was discovered, which I know that's not the case because I was there when he was told. According to him, he got a phone call from somebody at the hospital, and they said that Mom was doing bait. She was doing great, she was doing better. And then, like an hour later, that same person called back from the hospital and said she had passed and so sorry, and hung up the phone. I'm like, Dad, that's not... Because he told me this a few times now, and I'm like, Dad, that's not how it happened. He's like, oh, no, that's what happened. I just got told on the phone. I'm like, no, we got you to the VA, and the chaplain from your Legion volunteered to tell you. And he even mentioned at the funeral, at Mom's funeral, to the chaplain how he said he found out. And the chaplain's like, Fred, that's not what happened. I'm the one that actually told you. We were at the VA. But my dad's like, no, that's not what happened at all. It's like, but dementia. So the chair. There were two really squishy, beautiful blue chairs in the living room that were kind of, the mom chair and the dad chair, and they'd sit in those chairs and watch TV for hours and hours, usually at the end of the day. With health issues and other things that were going on, this is kind of gross. They reeked of urine. They reeked of urine. So between that and the bed bugs, they're outside right now. They're outside by the gate. You may have seen them in some outdoor footage. That's where those chairs came from. Now, according to the class I took, we probably weren't supposed to drag those outside, because we're not supposed to disturb any of their stuff. But I've also got DCF and Pasco County Adult Services, I think it was, who were like, these are health and safety issues that have got to be resolved. Because they even, when they would enter the house to inspect it, be like, kind of smell like a pee smell. Like, I know what that is. So, I got a couple of state agencies basically telling me, fix this, and then with my guardianship, the court's telling me that I shouldn't, but yet I've got documentation from the court saying that I'm responsible for person and property. This is where it gets kind of sticky and gray, in my opinion. If I'm responsible for person and property, doesn't it behoove me to make what he owns better and not let it get destroyed worse? And I'm not supposed to do any of this with myself in mind, and as I've indicated before, I would love new flooring. The old flooring's okay. At some point, the carpet, we can steam clean it and it'll be okay. Because there have been chihuahuas and people and, whatnot, where it needs to be steam cleaned. and bed bugs and all that. But I don't really have justification to replace it because it's not technically damaged. It's not broken, if that makes sense. The bed bug situation, that's a health issue, and it should be resolved whether somebody's living here or not. An insect infestation should be dealt with. The plumbing that was backing up. You can't have raw sewage on a floor. That's a health issue that needs to be resolved. The lanai ceiling being ripped out to where it's being braced by 2x4s and could like fall and crush someone, or a good major storm comes through and it gets slammed into the house proper now that it's loose. Give it the old heave-ho. To me, these seem like things that I should take care of, and again, things that the 2 state agencies said, hey, since your mom and dad aren't fixing these issues, you should, because you're power of attorney, so get to it. We're already planning on bringing charges against your mom. Don't also get on that list. You know what I mean? So, because quite frankly, Ms. Alistair was like, don't fix anything, don't do anything. And it's like, if I'm responsible for person and property, but apparently I need to get the judge's permission. Now, with stuff that I already did, because I took the class and paid attention, we can, and this is what I'm going to recommend to the lawyer, or the paralegal, or what have you. It's kind of goofy. I'm going to recommend to the lawyer what our strategy should be. We can submit a form and basically request what they call an order confirming, which is kind of a beg forgiveness situation where the judge looks at it, and as long as there's a good reason for these things being done, more often than not, according to the instructors, they will look at it and go, yeah, no, that's reasonable to get done. And they will sign off basically saying, you are forgiven. I am absolved of my blame. I'm not Catholic, but I played a priest on stage. So, yeah, that's what I'm going to ask, nudge, recommend. Hey, can we get an order confirming? Because I've got state agencies telling me to get this done. I'm responsible for property. I'm not going to do any modifications. I'm just doing fixing. Because there are things here that are broke through either my parents' negligence, time, and not being fixed, or in some cases my dad just being reckless and breaking things because of dementia. There's a few things like that around here. One of the doors, as an example, in the hallway, the door to his office, he put key locking doors on all the doors, all the bedrooms, to keep the burglar out of individual rooms and to keep the hallucination people from getting into various bedrooms and causing shenanigans. My hand to God. Like there's a little girl that plays in my mom's office, and he put a locking door. He switched it out, but for a while he had a locking door on there to keep her out of there so she'd stop messing with mom's stuff. And he couldn't figure out how she was still getting in there, so he just switched the lock back. Like, it's pointless, it's not working, so I'm just going to change it back. Somehow that girl keeps getting in here. Saw her spinning on that chair, that gold chair. Which I don't know how she was sitting on the gold chair, because that gold chair was actually stacked with huge amounts of stuff. It was more of a table than a chair for the past years. So I don't know how little girl was spinning on that chair, tucked in the corner, stacked with stuff. But dementia, my dad sees many things that are not actually there. But yeah, order confirming. And I'm willing to bet, based on even the hearing we had regarding Dad, the judge heard an earful even from my dad's court-appointed attorney, who basically was like, yeah, no, it's the health and safety issues here are real. I'm here to defend my client, but I can't deny what the petitioner is saying. That's That's true. I have no defense for that. So, and that's on record. I don't know how they're going to play out. I'm hoping they're not like, well, you used the state funds and you didn't have permission, you shouldn't have done that, so you have to reimburse it or you're in trouble. Can I? Yeah. Because of what my wife and I had saved up and what my mom gave me over the last year or whatnot. Yeah, I can do it, but damn it, I don't want to. You know what I mean? I don't want to use my money fixing his mistakes. That seems rather unfair. What I mean by his mistakes is this is stuff they should have taken care of. The septic issue is something they should have taken care of years ago. You know, when you're getting the septic system pumped every 2 or 3 years, okay. When it becomes twice a year or sometimes 3 times a year, something's obviously broken and you're not taking care of the root problem. And you really should. Between the health hazard and just the fact that you're throwing money away getting something fixed, you know, every few months instead of every couple of years. You may pay a little bit up front, but think of the biannual money you're saving. And I had this talk with him 2 years ago and got dismissed like I was a crank. It's like, you guys are having them come out and do it every 6 months. That's not normal. There's something actually wrong with your system. And we just take care of it when we need to. It's like, of course you can. I don't think you should, but you can. So, I didn't get a response back from the lawyer. I'm not really surprised though, because today is, it's still the 13th. It is Slaughter the Indigenous People Day, I believe. I'm kidding. If you're watching from somewhere else, today's Columbus Day recognized. I think Columbus Day is actually October 12th, but because it's important to have a federal holiday, they pushed it to Monday as far as observed. So, if you actually know some of the stuff that Columbus did, not necessarily a great guy. He was committed, and he was a believer, and I don't know that he went about his missionary work the way that Jesus would have wanted. And we'll just leave it at that. But yeah, here in the U.S., again, if you're watching, because I know I have some people like from India that tune in. Hello. I'll try to keep my bad mimicry down to a minimum. I've actually got a good friend that was born in India, and I traveled the state of Florida with him for about a year doing sales work. Smart guy, funny as hell, and positively obsessed with Charlie Chaplin. And that's not me like making a joke. It's just like an unusual, weird thing about him. Weird, cool, but just completely obsessed with Chaplin. I think he liked Buster Keaton too. Just a neat guy. I'm not going to mention his name because I try not to do that, you know. But Columbus Day is a federal holiday here, and as such, government offices are typically closed. There are a lot of government offices closed currently, but now, especially today, and as such, a lot of places that might deal with federal, state agencies are closed too, like law firms. A lot of law firms take the day off because you're not going to be in court. Banks are closed, that kind of thing. So I didn't really expect a response from my lawyer just because I didn't figure they were going to be in the office. But hopefully Ms. Allister will see it, and when she gets there in the morning, and get back with me and let me know. I think my concerns and questions are valid, and I know she wants to get the certificate turned into the court because, you know, deadlines and all that. And I got to do all the bank stuff here in the near future. Open that Guardian account. It should be exciting. Yeah. Great. So, had a couple chicken drumsticks earlier, and now I'm getting some feedback from it. And I'm okay with it all. I'm still not AI. Didn't get any of my eBay packages in today because mail doesn't really get delivered on federal holidays either. I am starting to stack up some of my Amazon purchases. I took advantage of some of the Amazon sales on the 7th, I think it was. I'm trying to put together kind of like a Christmas for Halloween thing for my kids and my wife. Nothing like major, but, you know, it's just been a shitty year. 2 years, frankly. And we haven't really done holidays. And we're trying to get back in the back of the mindset of living and not surviving. You know, thrive, not survive. So I'm trying to kind of low-key usher in like a little bit of a, not necessarily a Halloween party, we're not doing that. Although Pix today said that she wishes we could do a Halloween party, and I'm like, you know what, next year, if we can get this house squared away to where it's running smoothly and, you know, debris free and all that, let's invite our close, and yeah, that'd be cool. I can honestly say I've actually never hosted a Halloween party at my home. Did a couple at the Shack at our hobby store, but never done one at my home before. That would be kind of cool. I'm 54. I'm a Halloween fanatic. So is she. We've never hosted a party. What the hell's wrong with us, right? You know, at that point I'll be 55. It's time. So, but yeah, I'm gonna put together just some like little gift bags, nothing major, and we're gonna do something. I don't know. I think we've earned it after the got Shawshank Redemption in my head after the 4 miles of shit we've crawled through. Yeah. So I'm gonna call it here because I'm gonna enjoy my coffee, and I'm gonna. I actually didn't really get a full, I got like probably 6 hours. I guess I got my normal sleep. But I feel droopy, but I think it's just because Sunday went really, really, really long. So then that 5-6 hour sleep doesn't seem like a resting sleep. So if I go to bed, and I want to make sure it's almost midnight, I want to make sure I'm up by 7-ish, 8-ish to make sure that I'm on hand and alert for my lawyer's call, because she'll probably call. Exactly. I don't need to be doing that while I'm, you know, trying to answer lawyer questions. So, order confirming. Again, basically the judge saying, they did what? They weren't supposed to. Oh, but that makes sense. Yeah, that's fine. Here, you have permission after the fact. So, yeah. But yeah, I'm going to enjoy my coffee. And oh my god, am I enjoying my coffee. Starbucks Toasted Coconut. I looked at the bag then, and it's apparently limited edition or whatever, so I don't know if that means it's a holiday thing, or if it was they just tried that flavor out and then decided not to continue it. I don't know. But, oh yeah. Anyway, yeah, still real. But I can pretend. Anyway, I had somebody like DM me on that. They said that I had done that in one of the other videos and it creeped them out. You're welcome. what I do. So yeah, health-wise, I feel actually really good. Not a whole lot in the panic department, which is yeah, I'm okay with the panic attacks not being quite so attacky and panicky. But yeah, no, I feel pretty good. I'm starting to get my groove back. This past 2 years has been. I've quoted Matt Damon here before. I'm going to quote him again. It's been a dick punch. Yeah, but starting to come out of it and thrive, not survive. So. Make it a great day.